Alright, I think I'm ready for this. I've got the flares out, and I've got any card that's not a kicker that's totally black is going to be a flare. I had to do some makeshift stuff with the flares. And I've got home written flares over here versus the actual flares for some of these. Let's go through the powers we're doing here. We got Archaeologist, who writes down the flares in his hand and may use those after the flares leave his hand. We've got Adam. After cards are revealed, may play edicts as R5s, it's reinforcement 5s, and flares as reinforcement 10s, and then discard, or they can play them normally. Aristocrat, beginning he picks his own hand, and he did that over here. We'll see if that was a good pick or not, I don't know. And after that, when he's a main, he picks a random flare from the unused deck, which is over here, and puts it in his hand. And in every other turn, he has to discard a flare, but he can't discard a flare that's part of a super flare over here of one of the powers. So that's the only rule. And then I when he picked his hand, I didn't have him pick any flares just to make it more interesting. I think let me angle this a little bit so it's maybe less glare. And the last one is Darwin. The flares, they're all flare powers. The flares that Darwin gets are the powers they represent. So I picked out the powers that were in the flare deck over there, and I'll bring them over when that's applicable. And here's the hands. We've got a lot of tacks there. That's the hand I picked. We'll see if that works. There's two flares over here. The zero kicker flare, which I don't use, is actually the Adam flare, and so he can use his superpower. And his superpower, I'll show you some of the powers here. The regular one over the clone, I have he may keep his kickers, not discard them, but his superpower for his flare, super flare, his E's now instead of being reinforcement 5s or reinforcement 10s, and his flares instead of being reinforcement 10s or reinforcement 20s. So that's going on over there. And some other cards. And then we have a lot of attacks here. And I got my board out and I wrote down what the clone was. Oh, I think I roasted. Hold on. I had realized that I put the wrong, when the super flare was out, I erased the wrong one on here. He may keep his kickers, and then I read the other one what his E's and F's could be if he doesn't want to use them that way. Okay. I guess we should start this. I hope I'm not sitting too close here, but I can always back up a little bit. And yellow's turn, but the Aristocrat is going to play his time gash. So he's going to start a challenge like it's his first turn. And he doesn't have anything in there. He gets a flare from the flare deck, which is virus, and let's see what it is. Well, the wild is the same, so as a main player, you may square the number of tokens on your side in the challenge to get the number of tokens you use in determining the total. But we're not going to have any allies here, so it's just going to be his tokens, so I'm going to write that down. Okay. It's crazy this, but we're back, so that's part of his hand over there. I just have to remember that's over there. He's going against not himself. Not himself. I shuffled these. Blue, which is Adam. Now, Aristocrat is going to play the Plague on Adam. So I got to get rid of some stuff. He got rid of an attack, a compromise, an edict, and a flare. He left his other flare there, this super one on there. So I'm going to pause again. Okay, I took care of the Plague. Now, no one knows about the virus or the flare in his hand over there. So let's put it up there so it's actually in his hand. And Adam can't use his power. Doesn't have edicts or flares now. He has his super flare. He could use his super flare if he wanted to, but that would kind of mess things up. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he's crazy. And let's see. Aristocrat is gonna, he gets the square, so with the virus. So that's not 9. Put them all in for, he's got 16 going right now. And he's gonna play his low card. He's got the Cosmic Zap, just in case. So he's got a 46 total going on right now. He didn't want to use the war card just in case he uses a card over here. So he doesn't know what to do. Does he play the compromise card or does he go down swinging? He can go down swinging. He could get a 12 and use that 20. His own flare is a 20. So that would be 32, 34, 35. He might want to play the 12. Or he may want to get the good hands that are in, good cards that are in Aristocrat's hand. I think he will do that. He will opt out of this one. So that is a win. These are have to be get consolation for. There's nothing more that this side can do. I mean, that was the most he could do if he wanted to do that flare stuff. And he doesn't have to play anything else over here. So that's all done. Now 3 cards are going over. Alright, that's what his hand looks like over there. And that's what his hand knows. He got the flare, so now he's got the square tokens on his side. Power. So I should actually I can get rid of one of these here. Hold on. Okay, it's Archaeologist's turn. Just reverting back to the beginning. No, nothing there. He doesn't have a power. He doesn't have any flares in his hand, so. Blue. He could go after a weak blue. He knows that something big happened over there. And the virus wasn't shown. Flare. And he knows about the normal E's and F's being R5s and R10s. So, what does he want to do? He wants to wreck space. Well, he can go with a wiki and maybe hope that he might want to go with a compromise to get some good cards. He knows good cards came over. So, how many cards does he want? He's playing for a loss unless the other guy plays the war card. He wants 4 of those cards that are in that hand over there. And playing the compromise. Now we've got either the war card or the attack. So it's to be a 12. Plus he could kick in a 10 for 22. If he's scared of stuff. Well, he squares. He doesn't have any tokens to square on this one, so okay. Maybe to be safe, he will play just because people know about the cards. He will play his 12, and there's nothing else anybody can play on this one. So that's a loss. Voomp. But all 4 of those cards are coming over here at pause. Okay, Archaeologist got all his cards, and these 2 are now permanently in Archaeologist's thing here. He doesn't have the super flare, but he had the compromise. Compromise cards equal R1s. That's what I wrote over here on the board for him. So those are staying whenever, even if when those leave the hand. So pretty good. All right. Now it is Blue's turn. Blue got a new hand over there because Blue was out of cards. Blue's getting a token out. Blue doesn't have a power. Blue is going against. He could go against red. He doesn't wanna. He doesn't have to. Blue is going against green. Green doesn't have a power. So, he's got the war card. And nobody really knows he's got a good hand here. So he is gonna play his war card. How many is he gonna go in? He's got a lot in the warp right now. So he'll play the war card. It's gonna be moot anyway. If he plays his 20, okay, and then he plays emotion control, and it's nothing. Back, he goes back, and it's the second turn. He's going against. He gets one out. Yellow. And he knows what yellow got over there about the squaring and the compromise equal R1s. So he knows he's got 9, at least on that one. And I think he might have got a war card too. So, the squaring of the tokens. So what does he want to do? Does he want to go heavy? He could be facing a war card, or he could go and get... He could try to get his flare back. So he is going to play... He's playing a compromise, and he's going to go... He wants that flare bad. This is probably going to screw him up. I don't know if I swore earlier. And now we got the squares and the C's and stuff here. What does he think? Does he think he knows I have a war card and I won't play the war card? Because he got a war card from him? I think he did. So, maybe he'll play, since he's got the square part here, and he's got an R1 if he wants. He's going to play the 14. So that's going to be a loss. Those 4 go in here. Now I got to pull out cards. Okay, that's what he got back. He got back his super flare and the other flare and some little attacks. That's what's left over here, the Archaeologist. So now we both got square tokens on both. And Adam has the E equal 10, F equal 20, well R10, R20. Okay, Red's got cards. Red's using his power, and he got this, but he's not showing it to anybody yet. Archaeologist said, "Nah, we don't want you to have that." So this is going to go here. This is going to go in the special discard. Whoops. So we don't have so many flares coming out. So okay, he canceled that. Now. We don't know who he's going against yet. Red is going against. No, not himself. Yellow. Well, maybe that was pretty good then. And he's got... he knows about the square token, so he knows it's going to be like a 9. He's got one choice. He's going to play his 40. Does he want to go crazy? Why not? And he's got that kicker to play if he wants to. And he's got the square and he's got the C equal R1. He has a C compromise. And it's going to be at least 9. He doesn't have a whole lot over here. He doesn't know what he's going to play, but I think he's going to play. He's got to play that. And that's a loss. But those 4 cards are going over. So, and these here. Ugh. Okay. Boom. It's green's turn. Green doesn't have any power. Doesn't have any of the right cards in his hand. Green is going against. Not green. Not green. I gotta shuffle. Green has cards. Green is going against. Red. Red will get a flare. Okay, Aristocrat got the antimatter flare, and how I have that written up is, as a main, your other main and his allies. We don't have allies. Your other main's tokens have a negative value. So I wrote that up on the board. So nobody knows about that yet. Excuse me. Green is, let's see. Green doesn't have anything going on here, so green's gonna go for the gusto. Plays 18. And Aristocrat is gonna play. Now, he doesn't know that that's gonna be a minus. He's gonna play his 6. And then, let's see. He's going to he's going to show him that these are minus tokens. There's a 14 going on here versus a 9. And he's going to play that to make it 18, 19, 20, 21 versus 14 because those are minus. Darwin can't do anything, so that's a loss. All right, it's yellow's turn. I gave yellow a hand. I think because I might go crazy with this if I go too long with this because of the flares and stuff. I gave you a sample of 4 of the flare powers. The Archaeologist and Adam kind of off the internet, and Darwin off the internet, versus the Aristocrat that came with the Eon game. And you can kind of see some of the stuff I was talking about if there's a flare you don't like, or any part of it, you got to change it somehow. You got to make like something like this, a little deck off to the side to actually be what you want for the flare. And some of these, like Archaeologist, now I'd have to remember that stays on there forever. Cosmic Zap would just make him not be able to use that for that challenge. And this one is going to be forever changing every time he's a main flare. And Adam had the super. I don't know if he had a chance to use it yet, but that was pretty nice with that. But I hope you got a good little taste of this. Darwin didn't really do much in this one. Archaeologist did just to do 1, so he's maybe a little better in the 6-player game because there's the number of players times 2 for flares. The super flares for the powers that are out plus 4 more in this game. So there's 8 total. So if he was playing a 6-player game, he'd have 12 flares in the deck. That would really help with his power. So I don't know if any more flare discussion I have here, but I hope you like this. Hope I'm not going too crazy on this. I don't know. That's about all the components, unless I did one with everything going at once, moons, flares, and lucre, but then I think they'd have to lock me up. I would go crazy. All right, I'll stop yapping. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little session here, and I'll see you later.